Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. As of today, I started working again. It is May 7th. I am so glad to be back in the office. That means that a lot of my reading is having to be shifted from physical book to audiobook. So I thought it would be fun to start off this shift back into how my life used to be with me doing a reading vlog for an audiobook that I'm really enjoying in the moment. And that audiobook is Age of Swords. It is the sequel in the Legends of the First Empire series by Michael J. Sullivan. I talk about the first book, Age of Myth, in my highs and low video, which you can watch. I think it's over here. But yeah, I loved that book. It was a 5 out of 5 star. I added it to my favorite shelf. Now I have already started the book. I am about 25% in. I am loving it so far. I'm loving the focus on certain characters more than we got in the first book, specifically with Rowan. I really love how her presence has become more of a thing in this book, and I'm loving what they're doing with her. Oh my goodness, I can't remember anyone's name. I'm so bad with names. There's her friend who he likes her. I love his representation of disabled characters. I mean, not only do you have a character who has a physical disability, but also a mental disability, and in this time period, how he is struggling with not only being accepted for who he is, but also, you know, he's accepted himself, but society hasn't, and he's having to deal with all those things. And he's also feeling like Rowan shouldn't accept him because no one else does. And it's really cool to watch him do this and also watch him try to train Rowan to start accepting herself as well. As I am really bad with names, I also am not gonna be able to tell you the name of the prince, who I'm also really enjoying. He's like the prince of the Mirror Leaf, and he is an absolute reincarnation of Joffrey. I love Joffrey. I think he's such a unique and great character. I think he's such a spoiled brat. I totally understand why people hate him, but I am fascinated by him. I'm fascinated by what he brought to the story and what he does and who he is and how certain things can make characters different people than they would have been with other actions. And that's what fascinates me about him. And that's what fascinates me about this character, and watching how spoiled he is. In this book, he is 25, but he is considered young or like a teenager for the Mirror Leafs. And so it's really interesting to watch him have all this power. His father just recently got into power, and he's struggling with this idea of like he should have the power, not his father. And watching him be manipulated by someone in the first book who died and is still manipulating him from the grave because of the thoughts that he left in his head. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I'm gonna do some more listening, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Hey, so I kind of forgot that I was supposed to be vlogging this entire experience of me reading this book. And so unfortunately, I am at 60% through the book, and I haven't said anything to you guys since last time, which I think was around the 30% mark. I'm gonna give a quick update now, and then I guess I'll give a quick update at the end. Wow, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm trying to get better at names for you guys. So the prince, whom I am loving his chapters, his name is Wanderlei. I'm like sticking that in my memory so that I will remember it and I will be able to talk about him with you guys. No promises, I might forget it, honestly. His chapters are my favorites. I'm really enjoying the court politics that he's going through. I'm really enjoying watching his naivete play out as he is interacting with other characters. I'm loving watching him being taken advantage of on multiple sides, and he just has no clue. I think as a reader, I'm not supposed to totally know that he's being taken advantage of. I'm supposed to kind of side with him. I'm really enjoying watching the manipulation of him, but not knowing totally if all of these characters are manipulating him or how exactly they're manipulating him. I just had a stretch of the book where we were focused more on Persephone, and I really like her, but right now they're like building up to her and the characters that are with her, their action scene, like they're building up to something that's going to happen. And I think I just hit the point where we're no longer having any more building of that stuff, but we are now focusing on, okay, stuff is happening. So I think I'm going to be enjoying those chapters a lot more now. But up until this point, I've been kind of like, yeah, I like all of these characters, but I'm getting no plot points. I'm not enjoying Persephone's chapters as much because I feel like we're not having the plot drive us forward. I'm loving the world building parts of her chapters, and I'm loving the character interaction parts of her chapters, and I like her as a character a lot, but I feel like it's not driving the plot at all. It's just focusing on building up for later plot points, and so I'm not enjoying those parts because there's so much other stuff that is happening in other chapters that I want to get back to. I can say words. Wraith hasn't had a chapter in a long time, and I kind of miss him, but he's like mentoring some people right now, and I'm all about that. So I really hope I can get back to him soon and learn more about all of that and see it all happen. I'm so bad with names. The little girl, she's like a magician, but that's not the word they use in this book. I really love her like newfound mentor. She has compared her new mentor a little bit to her old mentor, and I'm really enjoying that and seeing how she's being trained and how it's different from what it was before, and how this is affecting her and how her past mentor has affected her current mentor and her learning capability, and how fear is controlling her life. I'm enjoying this book, not as much as the first one, but I'm still really, really enjoying it. And I'm at the point where like this would still be a 5-star read for me, but it's just not quite as good as the first one. Hey, so I have finished Age of Swords, and I really enjoyed it. I think the last like 10% was some of the best parts of the book. I really enjoyed how it concluded and how it wrapped up everything. I was happy with the parts that I had predicted, like Wanderlay's parts, and then I was also happy with some of the parts that I hadn't predicted, hadn't really seen coming. I will really quickly tell you kind of what this book is about. In book 1, we follow Wraith and a lot of other people as they are dealing with the aftermath of Wraith, a human, killing a god. And these gods are kind of deciding whether or not they should go to war with humans, and humans are trying to decide whether or not they need to start defending themselves against the gods. And there's a lot that comes out of that. And then the first action takes place. It wasn't really like the war had started, but an action happens at the end of book 1. Book 2 is following that action, where both sides now know what the other side is kind of thinking, and both sides are trying to decide what to do now that they know what the other side is thinking. And so I really enjoyed that. From book 1 to book 2, we learned a lot more about the world as a whole, and we learned a lot more about other races in this world, which was great. It really expanded the world itself. I love world building, so I was all there for it. And I'm really glad that we got to see more of that world. I think some of the places we saw we're not going to get to see again in book 3, but they might come back in some of the later books. And I would be okay with that because I felt like we got enough of them in book 2. Like, I'm ready to be back and home and see what's going on there. I also really liked the idea of inventiveness that ran through this entire book. Like, the entire time we were focused on different things that were being or had been invented in this world by different people, and it was really cool to see some of the things we know, love, and use nowadays either being invented or being invented by one group of people but being introduced to another group of people. I also just really love everything that the Fae or the gods are doing in this world. They really fascinate me, especially with their interactions with humans, but also with their interactions with each other. I think that they are some of the most interesting and well-written characters in the book, although, to be honest, I do love Wraith and I do love Persephone, and there's not really any one person in the book that I dislike, which is really unique because there are multiple POVs told and there are multiple stories happening simultaneously. So normally I feel like there's at least one storyline that I care about less than the others, and I didn't find myself feeling that way. There was definitely times when I would be into one storyline for a few chapters and then it would switch to a different storyline and I'd be like, wait, go back. I want to see like what's happening there. But as soon as I'd be back into this storyline, the other one, I would be like, okay, yeah, I like this. I'm really happy with what happened with Persephone's ending in this book, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah, I ended up rating the book 5 out of 5 stars. Still by the end, I didn't like it quite as much as the first book, but since I talked to you guys last, I enjoyed it more than I had been in that middle kind of chunk. So 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend this series. It is very good. Let me know down below if you've read this book. I'd love to talk to you about it. This or, you know, the first one. Don't do spoilers because other people, yeah, all that jazz. I don't remember how my outro goes anymore, but until next time, I'll talk to you guys in the comments. Bye.